It was a still and silent night when Daniel stepped out of his car after finishing a late shift at the factory. In his hand was a bouquet of flowers for his wife, Laura. A small gesture of hope to rekindle what had been fading between them. Their relationship had been strained for some time, but Daniel still believed that love had the power to mend even deep cracks. As he walked through the front door, something immediately felt wrong. The lights were low, and the house had an unsettling quietness to it. Making his way toward the bedroom, Daniel turned the corner, and suddenly found himself staring down the barrel of a gun. The man holding it was a stranger, but the fury in his eyes was terrifying. Before Daniel could process what was happening, gunfire erupted. 7 loud shots tore through the air. He dropped instantly, his shirt quickly turning crimson as Laura screamed somewhere behind him. A neighbor, hearing the shots, dialed emergency services. Paramedics arrived swiftly and rushed Daniel to the hospital, where he hovered on the brink of death. Surgeons fought for hours to save him, eventually placing him in a medically induced coma. The outlook was grim. Bullets had ripped through vital organs, his lungs, liver, and shoulder. Most believed he wouldn't survive the night. Days passed, then weeks. Laura came once to visit, and never returned. But Daniel's brother, Michael, stayed faithfully by his side, offering silent prayers each day. Then, after 6 long weeks, Daniel's eyes opened. Though he was too weak to speak, and every breath came with pain, he was still alive. Nurses wept with joy. Doctors called it a medical miracle. When Daniel finally regained the strength to talk, he asked one question: "Who shot me?" Michael paused, then revealed the awful truth. Laura had been cheating on Daniel for over a year with a man named Vince. That night, Vince had come to the house, not to argue, but to execute a plan to eliminate Daniel once and for all. It wasn't a spontaneous act. It was cold, calculated murder. Daniel was flooded with anger and betrayal. The months that followed were filled with grueling physical therapy. Every movement sent pain shooting through his body, but he pushed harder each day. He made himself a promise. He wouldn't just heal, he would fight back. Not through vengeance, but by uncovering the truth and seeking justice. Once released from the hospital, Daniel vanished from the public eye. He changed his phone number, moved in with Michael, and quietly hired a private investigator. Over several weeks, the PI collected damning proof, photos, call logs, and even videos showing Laura and Vince together. The evidence was overwhelming. But Daniel wasn't interested in quietly sending them to jail. He wanted the world to know the truth. He started an anonymous blog and created a social media account to share his story. Within days, it exploded online. People were stunned. A man shot 7 times by his wife's lover had survived and was now telling his tale. He published everything: the betrayal, the attack, and the evidence. It wasn't long before journalists came knocking. And soon, police reopened the investigation. Laura and Vince were brought in for questioning. Faced with undeniable proof, Vince broke down. He confessed to the affair, the murder plot, and confirmed that Laura had lured Daniel home that night, knowing what was going to happen. She was charged as an accomplice to attempted murder. The trial lasted 2 weeks. Daniel sat in the courtroom, watching silently as the woman he once loved unraveled beneath the weight of her deceit. Vince was sentenced to 35 years behind bars. Laura was given 18 for her role in the crime. As the gavel struck, Daniel felt a cold, hard sense of justice settle over him. After the verdict, he sold the home they once shared and donated the proceeds to a local organization supporting crime victims. He began speaking publicly about betrayal, survival, and how to reclaim life after devastation. People saw more than just a victim in him. They saw a man who refused to stay broken. Through everything, Daniel never let hatred take root. He rebuilt himself, brick by brick, drawing strength from helping others. What was meant to destroy him had instead revealed the depths of his resilience. He had been shot 7 times, abandoned by the woman he trusted most, and left for dead. Yet somehow, he rose from it all, stronger, wiser, and unshakable. His journey became a symbol of justice and hope. And when people asked how he survived it all, he would simply say, "You don't need a weapon to fight back. The truth is the most powerful weapon there is."